Oh my God. And neurophysiology lessons from this dude? I'm dropping out. Dropping out of school. Who hurt you?
Women are the physical manifestation of sensory perception. And in the same sense that when your senses are overloaded in any particular way, whether they're overloaded with pleasure or overloaded with pain, if your senses keep receiving that same stimulus over and over, you are not going to have as strong of a reaction to that same stimulus.
I'm about to have a really strong reaction to this specific stimulus in which this man, Nuance Now, claims that women are not real. Like, I just don't exist. I don't know how I'm sitting here before all of you right now. It's a miracle. Here I am. I'm sure you've seen people react to this video before, so of course I had to come here. This guy is the epitome of incel status. We all know how much I love me incels. So, of course, this man here, misogynistic as heck, believes that women are figment of his imagination or something. He actually did name the video "Women Are Not Real." This is a re-upload because he got a lot of flack because of this video, which meant that he kind of deleted it. From what I heard, he deleted like the whole channel, disappeared off the platform. So who's not real now, sir? Exactly. So let's get right into this.
This same sense, being that women are the physical manifestations of this phenomenon, that is why women's value must be preserved.
So I need to find out how I can preserve my value. I feel like I'm a pretty valuable woman. I'm not the worst looking. I'm educated with college education. Got awards, 4.0 GPA. You know, you would think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. My worth, though, right now in my life, especially as a 35-year-old mom and wife, has to do with my child. You know? That's all I care about, is that my husband's happy, my kid's happy, then my worth is good. But we're going to hear about how I can make my worth even better. He's going to tell me, because he would know.
They can't be trusted to handle anything of greater responsibility, anything of greater importance.
You mean like my child? You mean like the child that I mother? You know, like my husband goes to work, I stay home with my kid. I'm pretty sure that if my husband did not trust me taking care of my child, by the way, he wouldn't be going to work and leaving her with me. Number one. Number two, we are technically the ones that do most of the childbearing, by the way. Even if the mother works out of the home, we're known for doing most of the house cleaning and the childbearing. Again, even if we work outside of the home as much as the husband does. So, I mean, if you're saying that we can't be trusted, there's a lot of women out here that are being trusted with human life of children. Probably the most important thing you can trust someone with, by the way. But I mean, go on. Tell me all about how we can't handle it all, right? It's just too much.
Than daily household chores and taking care of babies.
Again, even if women work outside of the home, guess who does most of the chores and childbearing while also working outside of the home? Us women. Apparently, we can handle everything. Yeah, it actually gets pushed on us a lot by society. We are supposed to be the child bearers. We are supposed to be the ones that clean the house. We are supposed to work outside of the home as well. Yes, have you ever seen a man with a cold? What happens to a man when he gets a cold? Becomes a big baby. Then I gotta take care of my husband when he's got a little sniffles. And I got my daughter. I gotta clean the house. You know, I'm working as well. So, I'm pretty sure that we can handle a lot more. I mean, I seem to be sitting here handling your video. Maybe not the best, but here I am.
Taking care of children, taking care of babies. Because once babies turn into children, that's when the psychological development comes into place, which far exceeds the capabilities that women are able to provide for the child.
Excuse me? We can only provide for the babies? And then what? Do you think that when the child reaches like, what, age 6, 7, when they're considered a child instead of like a baby or toddler, that the man just takes over? In that case, where my husband at? I'm taking a break.
But going back to the value preservation, women's value has to be preserved while a man's value has to be created. Women are born with inherent value, men are born with no value, or next to no value.
Alright, I know I said that he was misogynistic, but he appears to hate men too. He's like, we're born with no value. We have to create our value. Women, they're just handed value. But I guess we can't handle all of the value that we're handed. I don't know if he really thought this whole thing through while he was recording. Little incel messed that up a bit. But, I mean, what am I handed with? What, a vagina? And then that just means, whoo, right to the top of the chain, according to you.
They're born with the potential for value. That's why when you see a young woman who hasn't done anything with her life, nobody's going to look down on her if she doesn't want to go to college or if she doesn't want to work. Nobody's going to think less of her for not wanting to do those things.
That's not true, actually. I don't know, maybe this guy's living in 1953. But nowadays, actually, young women that aren't going to school or working do get looked down on almost as much as men do. Trust me, if a man goes out on a date with a woman and they're in like their mid-20s and this woman has not gone to college, is not out there working, he might not want to go on a second date, okay? It's red flags. Gold-digging red flags. Most men prefer a woman, by the way, that has an education or is working. So I feel like today in our society, we're viewed the same as that. I mean, anyone who's 30 years old, not working, no education, gets looked down on, no matter what's in between their legs.
Whereas they definitely will look down on a young man who doesn't want to go to college and doesn't want to work and doesn't want to improve himself. Since women are born with inherent value, it can't actually be increased in the same way that a man's can.
So I'm just born with inherent value, and then I can't increase it at all. So I guess for a woman, going to college wouldn't increase my value. Having a good career wouldn't increase my value. Being able to bear your children wouldn't increase my value. Oh, well, it's not that we're not real. Apparently we just don't have much value other than what we're handed at birth.
Men's value is based on what they've done and the type of person that they've turned themselves into. What kind of value they've brought into the community in which they're living or into the larger society.
I want to know from the men out there, tell me in the comments below if that's true. I feel like this dude here is speaking for like all men. You know, I know for a fact that most men don't believe with this guy. The really cool thing about seeing this guy's video actually was the male responses to him, right? So Emma Thorne did an amazing video. Several other great women that I highly admire as well did amazing video responses to this. But what I love to see was the men responding to this guy like, what's he talking about? That was some good shit. So I know for a fact there's tons of men out here that do not agree with this. So please, down in the comments below, men out there, let us know. Let us know that you're a good one. Ladies, the ones down in my comment section who are like, I don't agree with this guy, those are the ones you want to look at for dating. Just saying. Not the ones in his comment section.
Is not based on that. The reason a woman has inherent value is because her value is based on her fertility. To put it bluntly,
oh my god. I knew it was coming. I kind of said that to him the last time, like, what, my fertility doesn't increase my value? Because something told me that he was going to lead it right into, I haven't watched this entire thing, by the way, But something told me he was going to lead it right into women fertility. That's her value. Here's the thing though, sir. There are many women out here that are actually infertile. There are many women out here that never want children. I have so many friends that don't want kids. They just don't want children. They would rather travel and have a career, do other things with their lives. So are you telling me that now these women, since they're not having kids or can't have kids, don't want kids, that they just have no value as women? Our value is all in our eggs? Well, crack an egg on my head and call me fucking crackers because that's nuts.
It's based on. Women's value is based on their fertility. That's why it's in the best interest of a woman not to waste her inherent value and try to lock down a high value man or a man who looks like he's on his way to becoming high value as soon as she can. The more experiences a woman goes through, the less value she has as a woman.
It's funny to me how this guy's stance on the world is the more experience men get in life, the more value they have. The more experience women get in life, the less value they have. That's strange. You would think that life experience would always bring more value, because the more life experience you have, the smarter you're gonna be. Maybe that's what it is. See, this guy doesn't want girls that have had life experiences so that he can manipulate them. I'm just saying, I wouldn't put it past him. Just be careful, ladies out there. This is silly, though. This is a silly way of thinking.
It's not just fertility either. It's also based on her ability to stay with a mate. Children are more likely to survive if the father's in the home. Children grow up much healthier and much happier and are much more successful later in life when the father is present. And
yes, you know what? That is true. They have done studies that say children that are brought up in homes that are not divorced homes or homes that have two parents do inherently do better than the kids that come from single parent homes. But he's talking about how the man has to stay. Are you putting that on the woman? Like these women aren't keeping their men? Because I feel like that's a man issue when the father leaves. When a dude gets a woman pregnant and then doesn't want to become a father or leaves the home, leaving his kid behind with the mom, that's on him. It's not the mom's fault. Why is he leaving? And even if they split up, he could still be a father. So that's on the men. Take care of your kids.
not just present, but consciously involved in the children's lives. That's why stepfathers don't really do the trick. You can't just inject a male person into a child's life and say, this is your new father now. That's not.
Is that what happened to him? Does this dude have daddy issues because his stepdaddy and him didn't get along? Is that what I'm watching here? Several years later, after him and his stepdad got into big fights at their home, he comes on YouTube and decides that women are just not real. He does this video and it does actually help him with his daddy issues, that is, until the whole internet eats him alive and then he is forced to shut down his channel and continue life with no value and his daddy issues. A sad story, Nuance. Sad story.
That's not how psychology works. That's not how human brains work. The child knows.
Oh my lord, if I have to take psychology and neurophysiology lessons from this dude, I'm dropping out. Dropping out of school.
It's not their actual father. And before any idiots go, well, I formed a bond with my stepfather, I'm aware that exceptions exist. I would still argue that you're not as close to your stepfather as you would have been to your biological father.
This hurts me. This hurts me as someone who was straight up adopted. I was adopted at a month old. My parents adopted me at a month old. I grew up with an entire family that was not my blood relatives. I bonded fine with everyone. Me and my father, actually, I'm a daddy's girl. We're super close. He is not my biological father, but every time I talk about my father, that's who I'm talking about. So this whole thing just isn't true, all right? I know that they often say blood is thicker than water, but trust me, it's not.
But like I said, the more experiences, whether positive or negative, that a woman goes through decreases her value because women cannot handle the stresses or the pleasures of life. The more stress she goes through, the more she sees the world as nothing more than a negative place.
The projection here, huh? Woo, boy. So, I would understand maybe if you talked about going through several negative experiences, us not being able to handle that. I mean, I don't know many people who can handle just constant negative experiences, right? I mean, I am someone that has CPTSD, so if anyone knows that, it's me. But then you bring a positive, like we can't handle the positive things now? That's too positive for me. We need to show this guy MLMs and toxic positivity because apparently he's never seen it. Just saying.
Because women are not able to connect with God in the same way that men are. Women are not able to renew themselves mentally. They see everything on earth through the lens of the material.
Oh, God. Now we're bringing up God. Well, my atheist ass is completely fine with men getting closer to God than me. We know this. But for those that believe in God, don't bring God into this. God has nothing to do with your misogyny, sir. They at least loved Virgin Mary, okay? After all, she was the Virgin Mary. According to you, she would have been real valuable.
They see everything on earth through the lens of sensory perception. If something doesn't excite them enough, then it's not a good thing. If something stresses them out too much, then it's also not a good thing. Everything has to be new, everything has to be fresh, everything has to be exciting all the time, 100% of the time, otherwise it's bad.
Did he, date some high-maintenance women, and they just ruined him? Who hurt you?
How women see the world. They don't have an accurate lens of reality through which they see the world. They just don't see reality. They interpret the quality of reality through the type of sensory input they're receiving. That's why girls don't work out. You ever wonder why the vast majority of women don't work out? They just...
Again, I think we gotta show them MLMs like Beachbody. Mainly women. Working now. I don't know why he's talking about how most women don't work out. Most of the women I know actually do work out. More so than most of the men I know, actually. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased with that because of that. I don't know.
They're fortunate enough to be born with a nice-looking body, and then it just wastes away. They don't work out. They could preserve their body a little bit by working out, but that's why. It's because it hurts. Working out hurts. And since women only interpret the world through sensory perception, anything that hurts is a bad thing.
Childbirth? Pretty painful. Our periods every month? A lot of us have those pretty painfully as well. I would actually say women have a higher threshold of pain than men. Like I said at the beginning of this, you ever been with your man when he got a cold? Yeah.
They can't handle it. They literally can't handle working out. That's how strongly this influences their mind. And just as when I was saying earlier, when a woman goes through too many negative experiences, she's not able to renew herself because women are not as connected to God. They're not able to refresh themselves psychologically. They're not able to detach themselves from the material world.
I'm sorry, is there a whole different set of rules for women in religion as there is men for how they can connect with God? Because when I was religious, all you had to do to connect with God was pray. Talk to God. I didn't realize that there was a different way that the men were doing this and a different way that women were doing this, so the women weren't actually reaching him as much. It just sounds silly. Sounds like not a thing. Because it's not.
And don't let their astrology fool you either. All this crystals, all the chakra, the healing bullshit. There's no such thing as chakras. There's no such thing as crystals, lighting incense. All of that is still sensory. There's no divine presence there.
All right, now, this is the only thing that I am going to agree with him on. But again, my atheist ass is kind of looking at him but then you talking about Jesus?
Still, just because it makes them feel good doesn't mean that there's a divine presence there. They might feel a tiny bit of divine presence because typically when they interact with these things, they're becoming more still in body, and that's how you gain greater contact with God. That's how you connect yourself better with the divine presence. But since they're not able to go all the way, they're satisfied with sensory perception. They think that the crystal...
Is God talking to this guy? I feel like we should be calling the hospital and getting like a 5150 or something. He's talking like he's out here talking to God, and us women are doing crystal healings, hoping to talk to God, and we're just not getting there. Weird.
Are the divine presence. They think that the incense or the astrological signs are the divine presence, when really it's just more sensory perception. It's just more material, surface level interpretation.
Are you saying that men don't believe in astrology? I know a lot of men that believe in that stuff, by the way. I'm a Gemini. Let me know your zodiac sign down below just so we can piss this guy off.
But in the same sense that negative experiences traumatized them in a way that cannot be recovered from, so do pleasure.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I gotta stop you there. Let me tell you something right now, sir. There is no trauma that people cannot recover from. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, that's my TED Talk. That's my TED Talk of today. No matter what you have been through in your life, you can get through it. If it was extremely traumatic, you can get better from that. Again, CPTSD, still a mom, still a wife, still work. Nothing's stopping me. Because I went to counseling, I did outpatient treatment programs, I got help, got on meds, etc., etc. You can be fine. So just, you shut up, sir. You're bad.
Pleasure experiences. If a woman has the best sex of her life with a guy, she will never be able to enjoy another man again. It has to...
What the hell was that? This guy was like with a woman that cheated on him and then didn't want him anymore, and she heard his fees. What's going on? Oh Lord, imagine if it was like that. How do you know that it's the best sex of your life unless you have more of it? Just throwing that out there.
Stay at that high level. You ever wonder why divorce courts favor women? It's because the objective is to maintain the woman's lifestyle. No attention is given to the man's lifestyle. Nobody...
Now, again, I will agree that in the past, it was very favorable to the women and the mom. It was. Right now, though, we're actually seeing a very big shift, at least here in Canada, especially in the family court system, where it's actually the men that are getting custody of children, the men that are getting spousal support. Right now in society, a lot of times the woman actually makes more than the man. So when they divorce, it's whoever makes the most money. Back in the day, it was always the man. So yeah, the man would have to pay child support, spousal support, etc. But now we're kind of seeing this like shift in society, which is why this guy's video is even more dumb, by the way, where the women are making more than the men. So it's starting to happen in the family court where they aren't doing that anymore and favoring the women, which is great news. I am all for actual equality and equal rights for men and women. All right. So for me, that's good news. I think that it should be fair. It should go by who makes more money, who made more money, and it should go by who would be the better parent for the children. And that's all that should matter in that. So he is right that that used to be the case, but I don't know if that has anything to do with the value of men versus women. It was just the way that society was at that time versus now. And you're going to see it keep changing. Keep your eye out.
Nobody gives a single fuck about men, okay? Just for you guys thinking...
Well, I mean, I don't give a single fuck about you right now. I can tell you that much.
You're going to change the divorce courts. Men need to be given more rights. Men need to be prioritized in court. Yeah. None of that shit's ever going to happen.
It is happening right now. I could tell you for sure that here in Canada, it's happening. Maybe in the States, the switch isn't happening as much. If that's the case, I'm sorry. But I can tell you here in Canada, it's happening. Maybe you just got to become Canadian.
Never, ever, I can't even emphasize how little, I can't even emphasize how that's never going to happen. It's
I can't even emphasize to you how it is happening right now in Canada.
just not.
It just is.
But back to what I was saying.
Back to what he's saying.
Woman's lifestyle is to be maintained. That's the priority. Now, the positive implications of this prioritization would be that if the woman has a small child and the dad's a deadbeat, then yeah, we would want to make sure that they're financially set up. But in the vast majority of divorce cases, and
by the way, according to you, a lot of the men are deadbeat and they apparently just leave. So,
just cases dealing with men and women in general, none of those details are taken into consideration. It is only taken into consideration that she is a woman, and due to our feminist culture, she's inherently a victim, and he is a man, which means he's inherently a perpetrator.
again, that might have been true years ago, but you are seeing a switch in society where, I mean, we're not seeing that anymore. Look at Johnny Depp, a great example of that. That is something that our society does need to change, because men do get abused as much as women. Also, saying that women are always victims and men are always the perps kind of completely erases the LGBTQ community and any abuse that occurs there. Because of course, when you're in a gay relationship, it's 2 men or 2 women. Guess what? There's abuse in those relationships as well. So that whole, women being a victim, men being a perp, does need to end, and it has also been changing in society. This guy's stuck in like 2016.
He's inherently a bad guy, and so the rewards, the fruits of the man's labor are given to the woman, regardless of the context of the situation. But jumping back to what I was saying, even pleasurable experiences are too much for the woman to handle, because they cannot refresh themselves. They can't see men in a new light. They can't appreciate different aspects of the man. All they see is whoever gives them the most dick, whoever gives them the most exciting experience.
I feel like most of us don't feel that way. I don't know many women out here that are just looking for the D. Who can give me the most D? That's who I will marry. That's not what it is. But, okay.
Whoever takes her on the most expensive date, on the more expensive date, he's the one who's gonna take the cake.
I think you're talking about a gold digger.
She will forever look at every other date after that with a sense of pity. You ever notice how girls who've been ran through are just more attractive girls?
Ran through? We're straight up slut shaming now.
Tend to look at men with a sense of resentment or a sense of pity. Or they look at nice guys definitely with a sense of pity as well. It's almost...
Well, are they r/nice guys? Because then... yeah, check out my videos on them.
It's like, oh, it's so cute. Look at him trying so hard. He thinks this is actually impressing me. Look at him trying so hard to impress me. Why is he...
See, a nice guy is usually a guy that pretends to be nice to a woman with hopes that he's going to get in her pants. And that's his only pursuit, is to get in her pants. You seem like one of those. Because you're out here talking about how a girl needs D. Whoever gives her the most D is going to be the one that she ends up with. So, I don't know, maybe that's you. Maybe you're a nice guy. You got hurt by a woman. You and your stepdaddy got into a lot of fights. And now you're venting. Is that what I'm watching here?
It's almost like they're confused. They're like, why is he trying so hard to impress?
I'm real confused about you. Why are you trying so hard to be a misogynistic, slut-shaming piece of crap? Answer me, damn it!
Impress me. What have I done to deserve such effort? None of the other guys have ever put in this much effort before. They're confused as to why you would try so hard for them. Even they are not confused about the amount of value they provide. Even they understand that they are ruined. Even they understand that their value has gone out the window.
This would be an awful man to be with if you had self-esteem issues. This is not the man. He has this whole idea in his head that women that have been with other men are somehow not going to like him. I don't know if he just has a teeny tiny thing, so it's making him nervous, or maybe he lost his job recently and he has nothing to offer, or what's going on. I'm just starting to feel sorry for him by the end of this. I'm like, who hurt you? Do you need a hug?
Went out the window with the first 100 guys they slept with. And I...
First 100? Any of you ever sleep with 100 men? I don't think that's a number for anyone, by the way. I don't know who you've been with. I think you found your last girlfriend at the strip club. I'm joking. It doesn't matter how many people that a woman has been with. Is it preferable if she's been with less men? Yeah. But what about bi girls like me? Been with men and women. What does that mean about me then? My value should be through the roof.
Do mean 100. You guys don't realize how utterly abundant women's sex options are. Most women's sex options, from even for average girls, are through the roof. And it's because of the dynamic. Men are the ones who are supposed to approach the women. Therefore, women are...
Again, you're living in olden days. Nowadays, that's not a thing. Nowadays, women even propose to men. Get down on one knee with the ring. Like, we're not in this time that you're talking about anymore, sir. You need to get out of your time capsule and come back to 2021, okay? That's where we're at now.
Naturally going to have more options. It just makes it seem like that. That's why women's egos are through the roof. That's why the moment they don't get this attention, they go fucking nuts.
What am I watching here? A man going nuts. Some projection.
Because it's been that way their entire lives. That's why women can't acknowledge that they do have it easier in life. That's why women can't acknowledge the privileges they have in life, because it's been a part of their life their entire lives. But don't be fooled. Even they understand that their value is gone. That's why they don't like guys treating them with appreciation. That's why they don't like guys treasuring them. Because they know they're not treasures. They know they're not worthy of that treatment. But
he's gonna give me a headache. Apparently, if you're a pretty girl, you just have no worth. And you know it. So you have men running all around trying to get with you, and then you just laugh at them. Okay, who is his ex-girlfriend? Me and her need to have a talk. Look what she created here.
they're in such denial. Women are masters of self-denial. Or rather, not self-denial, but they're masters of going into denial. They don't deny themselves anything. They'll take anything they can get. Women say men will fuck anything, and then be the anything that gets fucked. It's so funny because for all the...
Women will say they'll fuck anything and then be the anything that gets fucked. I can't believe that he just said that with such conviction. So sure of himself and what he was saying. Completely serious. Sir, I now know why you got kicked off the internet.
resentment towards men that ran through women have, they sure do seem to have sex with them all the time. They'll still take anything they can get. They don't, it's not like they turn down men's advances. It's not like, it's not.
I think this guy's been turned down one too many times. That's half of his issue. Now, we never turn down guys. Every single guy that wants to get with us, we just get with him, you know. That's us women. Really?
Not like they just turn away sex altogether. They don't become abstinent. They'll still take anything they can get, while at the same time pretending that they're not that type of person.
I'm gonna tell you a story right now. I spent 3 years being abstinent because I was in recovery. And for those that don't know, when you're in recovery, you are told to try to be abstinent. And then because the person that I was with at the time was not somebody that I wanted to be intimate with. We were at the end of a bad relationship. I can assure you that I turned down sex many times with the actual guy I was dating during that time. So, women can turn down sex. Probably easier than men can, from what I've heard. It's easier for us. We can even stop in the middle of it. get up and walk out. We'll be okay. Harder for a man to do. So, that's not true. A lot of women that turn down a lot of men. I turn down men every single fucking week. And I'm married. So, not true, sir. Again, I think he got turned down by one too many women. His ex obviously broke his little heart while he was running around trying to make her happy. You know, maybe she didn't like his stepdaddy either. I don't know. But something happened to this dude.
They're just as degenerative as the degenerative men. Don't let the fact that men are the ones approaching women confuse you. Women are just able to hide it because of the natural dynamic. Nobody can see this underlying dynamic. It's like so obvious. It's in our...
Nobody can see it except for Nuance Now. That's right, you're the only one that can see it, because it doesn't exist.
It's observable in our everyday life, and yet nobody can see this. Nobody can take their awareness just an inch deeper and see, yeah, you know what? Men are the ones approaching women. Women are the ones getting approached. So naturally, it would make sense that women have more abundant options, and they're able to hide things easily, and they're able to make it seem like they don't want it as bad, and they're able to make it seem like they're just victims and really the men are the perpetrators. Things are much more nuanced and complex than the vast majority of people will ever realize, much less admit to. But
is that why your name is Nuance Now? Because you think that this is nuance? Fuck's sakes.
I don't want to ramble on for too long. I think I've spoken on this long enough. Smash that like button if you enjoyed.
Ooh, that did not age well since you lost your channel, sir. Did not age well. So obviously, this is a man that has some very old-fashioned and misogynistic views. But do not worry. Enough people have reacted to this video that he has been essentially chased off of the platform. Gone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, sweetie. Bye-bye. I hope that wherever he is, he learned something from this. I hope that he's using this time that he's not making misogynistic videos to really think about life. Think of the real value of women and not treat them like a piece of crap, and then maybe he could actually get with one. I had to do this response because this makes me laugh. This is king of the incels right now. Beautiful. If you like this video, please give me a like because I am still on the platform. Subscribe if you are new because I'm still on the platform. I didn't make this guy's video, thankfully. And no matter where you are, what you're doing, I hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous day. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Except this dude, he can go fuck himself. Who hurt you?